Yeah.
Here's the deal.
You didn't introduce.
We're 2 guests in 20 minutes.
Wow.
The first guest is the most beloved person in the Greenville College athletic department. You see if you agree. You can say if you don't. All right, but you just see.
If it's not, we're gonna kick him out. Because if it's not who I think it is.
Yes! Janice!
Hi, Janice.
This is the best.
Now wait, the stories Janice can tell is I don't know. Is that okay?
I promise I'll be
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I'll be good.
The dirt Janice knows might go beyond.
Okay, so I'm correct, right?
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
So the most beloved person.
Not even. I don't.
Yeah,
I would have to think
there
about
wouldn't
who's
be
second.
anybody that.
Not even close.
Yeah, there's no second. Okay.
100%.
So I'll start off with the first question.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes. Janice, you have no ego.
No.
None. And you work with people who can barely get their head through their office door. How do you do this?
Well, you just listen a lot.
Okay.
People like to talk and I like to listen, so everybody has their story to tell.
Yeah.
You just let them go and then nod your head a lot.
Yeah.
Then work with it.
Gotcha. And you do have a lot of people that come down to that front desk and tell you their life, don't you?
Yes, they do. They like to stop there, check in, and then move on about their day. It's good though. I like it.
You're so nice so consistently. What's going on?
You were putting her on the spot with some questions. Those are some questions.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up with 8 brothers.
Ah,
And
there
they-
you
That
go.
And
answers
they
everything.
picked on me,
Ah.
and gave me the runaround. and
Then you had 4 boys.
And then I had 4 boys of my own.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And you gotta have
we're light work. I mean, that's easy.
4 boys.
Yeah.
4 boys.
That did do it.
Right.
You know what my theory on Janice is? I've always said is, if you have a problem with Janice, you are the problem.
You
Yeah.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
She never says an unkind word about anybody.
Never.
She says,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that person. No, they're the problem. They're the problem. Always. So, how many years have you worked in the athletic department?
I would say about 18.
18.
I
And
was
you,
part-time
right?
first,
Yeah.
right outside Doug's office and Bob Johnson, and I was there about 7 years or
I was
so,
just gonna
and
say,
then I
how
went
long was it?
full-time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can still hear Doug, like he was right next to my desk.
Of course you can.
down where I am.
I mean, everyone
We
you
all
work
can.
with
We all can, yeah.
has a major problem, something,
Oh.
and you just overlook it. Like you just are so kind to us. You don't.
That's because it's not a major problem.
Oh well, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
We're still in the agreement. When you retire, I'm out. I'm going with you.
All right.
Does anybody else sign that deal?
I've only told her that 10 times.
Okay, just making sure.
There's a few that said that.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, if Janice isn't there, I'm just gonna turn around and go home
Yeah, no,
and just
Well,
wave the white flag.
Yeah, and we're in and out, and we're all over the place. She's just so consistent. Janice. You're always right there.
Yep.
Yeah,
So you're
it's
just
so
so
true.
consistent. It's just amazing.
My mom was an amazing lady. I attribute my personality to my mom,
Yeah.
and a gift from God.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the biggest pain to deal with up there?
Oh, I cannot say.
Because they're all.
say.
Yeah,
right,
I
right.
cannot say.
Is he in this room?
Right.
Am
That narrows it down.
warmer, colder?
Warmer.
I just like to. It wouldn't necessarily. You wouldn't say the biggest pain, but just the hardest person to help.
Yeah.
The most needy. Who's the most needy? Right.
Doug can't type.
Right.
Can't.
Yeah. He does something. Yeah.
I typed a dissertation.
So it's really it's the most needy. Who's the most needy? Yeah.
That's a fair question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same, can't answer. Still can't answer. So nice.
I won't do it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh,
Man, we're trying.
That's great. You would know how to put together a group chat if you wanted like 3 or 4 people together in one piece of communication over text. You would know how to do that, right?
I do not know how to
Okay,
do
well that's
it.
helpful.
Yeah.
That's helpful because today I was in 2 different group chats. One was Doug trying to coordinate the time to do this with me and
Oh
George.
my.
And the other one was
Oh.
Doug trying to coordinate the time to do this with me and Rob.
Oh no.
So after this, I'm going to help him. And you know what's really funny about it is we already have one that has all of us in there. He made 2 separate
There
ones.
you go.
That was like,
So
you know,
he's-
Coach, when you go to
yeah.
the copy machine and you say, Coach, we need 6 copies. And he goes, okay, 1,
Yeah.
2. And you say, Coach, really,
Correct.
seriously, you can put in 6. What? No, I'm good. 3.
Yeah. A simple philosophy, harder, not smarter.
Right.
I mean, that is a rule of thumb. That's just how we want to do it. So you could take a typing class still now.
That's
Do you know you could do that? They would teach you how to actually type with all your fingers. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, back to Janice. Sorry.
That's funny.
What else? What else you have for Janice?
I asked my 2 questions. I thought they were very appropriate.
Yeah. How much more do you have with us in the athletic department? Can we write something up right now? Maybe a 10-year contract? Like, what can we do?
What? This is a negotiation
Yeah,
here.
it's always, it's live, and you can hold it to us, so it's
Uh-huh.
going, it'll be on the internet forever, so it's good.
I'll have to think
Okay,
about
you
it.
think about it. We could offer a
10 years. You
free,
know how old I'll be in, I won't say, but.
no, I don't know.
Well, you won't be much different though in 10 years. The age won't make a difference.
She doesn't age. I don't think that happens to
I
you.
hope not.
Yeah.
So, that's good. And your kids are off doing their own thing, so you're not getting aged by that. I mean, I'm sure that was a time when, you know,
Brings me back because I have 2
that's right.
grandsons now.
you've
so.
got, you can hold the youth right in your hands,
Yeah.
and there you go.
And
It gives
type
you longevity.
the
And you would still use more fingers if you had a baby than
That
Doug
is.
does. Yeah. So
What is your favorite hobby?
Riding my bike
Yeah.
is my favorite hobby.
Is it really?
Mhm. Yes, I decided it's a mindless thing. I like mindless activities
Yeah.
sometimes, and you can be totally mindless on
When you
those.
ride a bike?
Yes, and golfing kind of is mindless for
And
me.
you are quite the
Oh,
golfer. Yeah.
I can golf.
You can go, and you can bowl.
Yeah.
I've seen you bowl. You come out there with that bowling ball you got. And you're.
Is your own personal?
yes,
Is your own
yes.
personal volleyball?
It is.
Okay. Nice.
All right, one last story. You almost died when you were with George. Yes.
Oh my
Can you
gosh,
tell
I
that? Can you
did.
tell that story? And
I
George, you can
did.
tell it.
All right.
Maybe better, but why don't you try?
Yeah, right.
We were on walkabout on the side of a mountain,
Yeah.
like this.
Where?
Like this. In Utah?
Utah.
Utah.
So these are serious
These are
mountains.
Serious mountains.
This is
Very
not some.
dangerous.
Yeah, this is
It's
not
where the
some.
guy was
Illinois.
out and he forgot to tell somebody he was going there and he got his hand caught in a rock and he had to cut his hand off. He got free. Remember?
That's a show. Yeah.
Same area.
Yeah,
Same area.
yeah, same area. Okay, so what are you doing?
So we're gonna hike down to this river
Right.
area.
Yeah,
So we
that's
get out of our van,
Yeah,
and we're hiking across, and we go across the side of this mountain, and I look
We have,
down.
and how big are the packs? We have big packs.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe this time we didn't have a pack.
No,
It's a day
I
hike.
didn't have a pack on. I might have fallen way off.
Right.
And so I look down and there's just water. There's a ravine down there and it's way far down there and I panic. I'm like, I can't go any farther. I can't go any farther. And George is behind me and he says, yeah, you can, Janice. So George comes out there and I'm about to fall off the side of the mountain and George comes out and Janice, you can do this. You can do this. Just do it. Put your feet flat and go across. Oh, my knees are shaking and so I make it all the way across
Oh,
there.
yeah,
George,
yeah.
I looked down once. I said, I can't do this. And George said, yes, you can. And George was below me at that time, like he was going to catch me or something.
Oh, wow.
I said, George, you have 5 kids. That's okay, Janice, that's okay. We're going to get you on the side of this mountain.
Right.
And we did.
We did.
Wow.
And later that night, you said, what if we'd have fallen?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I said, everybody would have been sad for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you didn't just continue with life. But we made it across. And then once we made it across, we had to come back across.
Yeah, we did.
And we
I
said,
did.
just if we step, if you're heavier on your feet,
Mhm.
the friction is heavier, so you don't slide. But there's no trees and there's nothing out
Right.
there. You just slide.
Yeah.
Which
But
this is
Janice
a perfect
was a
segue.
great leader. You were a great
Thank
leader.
you.
Oh, I
I
can't.
love
Kids
it.
loved
Love it.
having you on the trip. So.
Perfect segue to what the title of our next show is. The Time I Almost Died with George. I guarantee you, we can just line up the guests.
Yeah,
Like if I mean,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. That was the same trip. There were like a mass massive snowstorm. We're in our van and we're driving. We're thinking,
yeah.
okay, we got to pull off somewhere. And George's windshield was all covered
Sure.
with
Oh,
snow
yeah.
and ice.
Did he
and
seem
everything.
worried?
So no, he wasn't worried.
Yeah.
I was right next to him in the front seat, and he said, "Oh, I cleaned my windshield wiper because I wouldn't go across."
Yeah,
And
we're
he
not going to
rolls-
stop her.
He rolls
Yeah.
down his window and reaches out there and
Yeah.
gets the windshield wiper, and it breaks off in his hand.
Right.
Did you?
Well, no, what we
Did
do,
you just
if you
use
pop it when it comes
Oh.
up, if you take it and pop it, it'll crush the ice off. And so I caught it. I think I cut my hand
While you were driving.
while we're driving
Yeah.
and popped it. But I think once it broke. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, Tara and I had conversations off and on about, okay, what are we going to do when George does die? Because we'll have a responsibility to the children and
Right.
Lisa. We had those conversations all the time. Okay, I'll have to do this, but I won't be able to help Lisa with this. So you'll have to give me Sam. Maybe I can take Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Okay.
Maybe I can take Sam and Abby. I could do well. Yeah.
We're in the hospital, and I had the terrible infection in my arm.
Yeah.
And the doctor comes in and says, we may have to amputate. And I said, I feel like I'm going to die. And I said to Doug, if I don't make it, you're going to have to take care of her.
Yeah.
Point to Lisa. And I have never seen you get busy so fast. You got up and you said, hey, we need some help over here. I don't want to take another responsibility. I thought that's what I need to do is give you more responsibility. I don't want to do that. So it was fun.
All right, 2 guests in 20 minutes. Thank you for coming.
Janice is
Thank
the
you for
best.
having me.
This is the most beloved
Delight.
person in the
Thank
athletic
you.
department.
Thank you very much.
100%.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank